Hello everyone, and once again welcome to the PedrozaTravel show, the show where once a week we take you on a random adventure. In a previous episode, I spoke about how the movie industry was not dead and showed you some of the interesting things that you'll find in a movie theater today. So for this video, I thought it would be interesting to take you back to where it all began and show you some of the early movie theaters in California. So come along with me as I take you to find California's oldest movie theater. The first thing I suggest you do is don't drive into Los Angeles. It's much better to take the train into Los Angeles. Well, it's only $10 to take the train into Los Angeles, and quite frankly, you're not even going to find parking for $10 in Los Angeles. So I'm here at the Riverside downtown train station, and I'm going to take the train in and show you what it's like. It's pretty easy and simple to get an all-day Metrolink pass for only $10. The first thing I need to do is get a ticket, which I'm going to do here at the ticket kiosk. It's all electronic. It's pretty easy. You can use cash or credit card. I'm going to use a credit card, and you just need to go over here and select for the $10 weekend pass is what you need to do. So I was able to get my pass. It's an all-day weekend pass for $10, and I need to keep this pass because it's going to be good for also the Metro in LA. Talked to security, and it looks like my train is going to be leaving from track 3. And so I went to the other side of the track, to track 3, and I'm going to sit over here and wait for my train to arrive, which should be in about a half an hour. We are now crossing over the Los Angeles River, and if this bridge looks familiar to you, you have definitely seen the movie Grease with the song Grease Lightning, where they were racing down the river. This is where they were racing. When you come into the station, make sure that you get all your belongings. You don't want to leave anything on the train because you will not be coming back on the same train that you left on. So let's get into Union Station and let's find the red Metro line. We just got off the train, and now we're going over to the Metro red and purple line, which is over at the plaza. It's just like a few steps away from the train, which is convenient. And we're going to take it over to Pershing Square and go to downtown LA. All you have to do again is scan your ticket where it says scan, and you pass right through. That's how the all-day pass works. It doesn't really matter from here which you take, if you're taking the red or the purple, because we're going to Pershing Square, and this is the end of the line for both the red and the purple stations. So it really doesn't matter. This Metro map shows you how the red and the purple lines go together. The purple line only goes to Wilshire, but the red line goes all the way to North Hollywood. Okay, so we have made it to Pershing Square, and this is the Jewelers District right now, but at one time this was not the Jewelers District. This was the vaudeville circuit here in Los Angeles, and it is still known for the theater district, but not as much as it used to be. But let's go walk down a bit in this area and see some of the old theaters in this area. Here in the back exit of the Los Angeles Theater. Interesting, but we'll go over to the front over on Broadway. We are here at the first of the movie theaters that we're going to look at. This is the Los Angeles Theater. The Los Angeles Theater was built in 1930, and it is the inspiration of what is the Hyperion Theater in Disneyland here in Anaheim, California. If we look to the front, we'll see that it also kind of reminds people of what is the movie, the cartoon Sing from that animated show Sing. These days it's for live action shows. It was run down a lot during the 80s. It got used as different places such as a church and among other things. It had to close down in 1994, but was ultimately bought back by the city and restored. Still in restoration a little bit, but you can see some of the original bones to it, including the old ticket office and the wonderful facade that it still has today. This theater is the Palace. The Palace is the oldest operating movie theater in Los Angeles. It was built in 1911, not originally as a movie theater palace. It was built as the third installment of the Orpheum Vaudeville shows that were in the area. It kind of morphed over the years. As vaudeville went away, it began showing movies in the 20s and the 30s, and then changed again, discontinued, but now it is back open for business, and it is still showing premieres and movies. So it is the oldest operating movie theater in Los Angeles today. More famously, this theater is known for the video Thriller by Michael Jackson. This was the opening scene where he comes out of the movie that was filmed here at the Palace, which was owned by the Orpheum Company. Let's go up closer. You can see some of the cool architecture to this building. Love the French Nouveau design of the building. As we can come up, we can see that the entryway has been restored a little bit, so it's beautiful. You can imagine what it was like back in the day. It's one of the original vaudeville theaters, but today it is it's the oldest operating movie theater. Here on the corner of Broadway and 7th, we can see the State Theater. The State Theater opened on November 7th, 1921, and again was originally a vaudeville performance theater. It was home to the legendary Lung Sisters. They were known for being able to sing so well that even the people in the back of the 2,300 seat theater could hear their voices. It was later acquired by United Artists in 1949, and then in 1997 the theater was condemned and given back to the city. Eventually in 2018, the Kingdom of God Church acquired the property and changed it into a church, and that's kind of common here on Broadway. A lot of theaters are now churches. That's kind of what happened to a lot of them here in the 80s and 90s on Broadway here in downtown Los Angeles. But it's still a beautiful building, and the United Building is what is called. This brown building is just an awesome example of brown building architecture. Now here we are at the Globe Theater. The Globe Theater was first opened on January 6, 1913, and it didn't open originally as the Globe Theater. It was known back then, first name was the Morosco Theater, and then it was called the President Theater after President Theodore Roosevelt, and then the Newsreel Theater, and then named after the Globe, which at the time was a newspaper. And what's interesting about this theater is it started its first productions in 1913, and it was built as a full stage dramatic theater, when at most theaters at the time were actually being built as vaudeville theaters because that was more popular. But theater opened up as a full dramatic stage, and it's still giving full dramatic stage productions today. So it's kind of an interesting feature in an area that was once known for vaudeville. The vaudeville has of course gone away, but now full-scale theater productions are back, and this theater in particular is equipped just for that. Now over here we have the Rialto Movie Theater, which again, this is one of those theaters that used to be a movie theater but now is something else. And in this case, it's an Urban Outfitter. That's kind of like a chic hiking boutique place. But the Rialto movie theater here on Broadway is a very interesting movie theater. It was opened up May 21st, 1917. And as you can see, it has lots of neon. In fact, this is one of the first movie theaters in the country that use this neon style of architecture for showing off movies. Also, it was the first movie theater to have stadium style seating. Before then, it was just a gradual decline in seating. But this one was the first to use actual stadium style seating to enhance movie theater viewing. It was first opened up under the Quinn Symphony Orchestra under the direction of Joseph Calbrel, but as a symphony it didn't do very well, and so in 1924 Sid Grauman took it over and operated it as a movie theater. With a lot of things in the 80s, it went into decline and it was eventually closed by the city in 1989, and then in 2013 Urban Outfitters bought and restored this location into a storefront. And now we're a little bit farther down on Broadway, and this is going to be our last movie theater here for Broadway. We are here at the Orpheum at 842 South Broadway in downtown Los Angeles. And this movie theater opened up, this theater first opened up February 15th, 1926, and was the fourth and final Los Angeles venue for the Orpheum Vaudeville circuit. It was known for lots of concerts, lots of singing. It did go into decline as well in the 80s, and in 1989 it closed down for a while and took $3 million worth of renovation for the city to bring it back up. Now today it is back up and running again, and it is known mostly for rock concerts and music concerts. So if you're ever coming down here and you want to hear a good music concert, this is the place to see it. Now, I've talked about a decline here on Broadway on the movie theaters and the vaudeville and the production, and that definitely happened here on Broadway here in Los Angeles because there was a decline. That decline started in the 40s basically because of World War II. Another place, however, did open up. But this video is a bit long already, so we're going to have to save that for a different video. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Please remember, a travel adventure is always out there, you just have to find it. Thank you for watching.